everybody. Welcome. Alright, so we just went through this this webinar with the with CXC, and I just want to take some time to go through the what just happened now, because what just happened is not it's not something that we should take lightly. So let's see if I can get this thing. I'm gonna get the chat up one time. Chat box, work chat box. Alright, so I'm gonna get the chat up, but before that, I'm gonna play what some of the things that happen on this video, right? So like it, share the live with the folks, and I'm gonna actually play the audio clips, because here's the problem that's happening live. Sometimes we get information from all kind of different places, and people will be asking all kind of questions, and there's never actually have the source of the information. So what I want to do is I want to get to the source of the information. So tell those folks yeah, get those folks on the inside. I'll go and play back exactly what the people on them say, so that you wouldn't have any questions at all about what happened once the video plays.
To come and at least give welcome and greetings to all our teachers, parents, students, and other stakeholders who value this kind of presentation. CXC is very much pleased to be offering this session in ensuring that persons are very familiar.
Alright, so what we'll be doing is I'll be going through pieces of the clips, and then we'll
with our e-testing process, given the fact that some of our examinations
making me have some concerns. So, first part, I think I had the timestamps properly, so listen to this carefully, right?
At this time are offered via this modality. It is of particular interest this year, given the fact that we are looking at a modified examination process,
right?
Which will actually take into account increased use of our e-testing modality for exams delivery. However, I must also point out that in areas where we do have infrastructure challenges, schools and the various territories are facing challenges with internet and all those issues associated with the infrastructure that is required, we will still make available the associated paper-based modality to ensure that none of our...
Right, pause. Now play that.
It is of particular interest this year,
afternoon, sir.
Given the fact that we are looking at a
of e-testing.
Are very familiar modality process, given the fact that some of our examinations at this time are offered via this modality.
Right, so he understands that
it is of particular interest this year, given the fact that we are looking at a modified examination process, which will actually take into account increased use of our e-testing modality for exams delivery. However, I must also point out that in areas where we do have
parents, teachers, students,
schools, and the various territories,
we're so glad to have you with us this afternoon. We're glad that you could join us for our webinar
issues associated with the infrastructure that is required.
To give you an official welcome today, we have the Registrar and CEO of CXC, Dr. Wayne
paper-based modality to ensure that none of our candidates would be disadvantaged or disenfranchised. It is a pleasure to come and at least give welcome and greetings to all our teachers, parents, students, and others.
All right, so now pause on that one time. Yeah, right. So first thing is that they're going to have he clearly said that they're going to have the ability to do the test on paper and on the computer. So if they decide cool, they will fix the audio, because I was trying to download the video so I could make sure I could play for it properly, right? So basically what happening is that he said clearly here that they're going to make sure that they have physical paper and they're going to have, what's called this thing, the laptops, right? So
stakeholders who value this kind of
blah 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 blah,
which will actually take into account increased use of our e-testing modality for exams delivery. However, I must also point out that in areas where we do have infrastructure challenges, schools and the various territories are facing challenges with internet and all those issues associated with the infrastructure that is required, we will still make available the associated paper-based modality to ensure that none of our candidates would be disadvantaged or disenfranchised simply because they don't have access to the technology.
All right, good. So that's basically a confirmation that we're good and get rid of the thing. You're not hearing me? You sure? Are you hearing me? No, you're hearing me. I'm sure about that. That's not a question. Hold on. Yeah, so they clearly say that they're going on make sure that they have the paper available on paper first, right? So for all the people from Trinidad who concerned about all that, listen to it one more time before I move on to the next clip, right?
Internet and all those issues associated with the infrastructure that is required, we will still make available the associated paper-based modality to ensure that none of our candidates would be disadvantaged or disenfranchised simply because they don't have access to the technology. We will.
All right, cool. So clearly hear that now, right? That's basically saying we will always make sure that the people who have paper, they'll be able to do their exams. So for all of you who wondering if they're going to force Trinidad to use, what's called this thing? Force Trinidad to use the laptops, and then the laptops ain't going to work properly and all that kind of drama. Basically, Trinidad could say, we don't want that. We want to actually use we want to use paper. And I believe that would be the smartest way to go. If anybody from Trinidad have any sense, they would just be like, it don't make sense you force that that paper on top of people. Alright? Cool. So that's question number one that students have been asking all the time. Yeah. Yeah. Right. So question number one, that's what the people are asking all the time. Is it going to be that we have to do the thing on a laptop? They answer that. They say no. You don't have to do it on a laptop. It's clear. There's not a problem. Right. Any questions again about the laptop thing? Because there are more things that they ask. So let's skip forward to the next part now. So what they end up doing is they do a little demo of the
Thank you so much for that exercise. Now, as we
and
you are taking your test.
So this is exactly how our e-test will look.
Will determine
just in case you're not
what
sure.
With every administration.
All right. So pause on this. Yeah, the video volume. Alright, good. I'll lower the video volume, right? I'll only put back on the video when I'm not talking. Right, so watch this now. The things that you need to use. Was that so? I want my paper mean able to digicel and T and Tech wronging out on me. Yeah, that would be bad. So what they said is that once the school have a Windows laptop and they're using Windows, the minimum is Windows 7 and the minimum is macOS, the minimum is Windows 10, blah blah, fully supported. Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, macOS, Chrome OS, and the problem here is in iOS. I guess they have iOS here so that they will allow you to do it on an iPad if the school have iPad. If the school have iPads. No, they can't let you do it at home. They answer that question too, but I'll get to that part just now. Whoever asked the question about if they'll allow you to do it at home, nah, they ain't gonna allow you to do it at home. They answer that question inside the webinar, right? Okay, so we established one. We sure that if you can't do the e-test on the laptop, you get to do it on paper. We sure about that one. 2, we established that it has been done since 2017 and they know how it does look. So let me show you how it does look, just in case you're not too sure about how e-testing does look. Right, so every student will get individual password. Wait, now who said it? Leon say our school computers in Windows XP. Well, sir, I'm real sorry for all you, because if your school only have Windows XP, that ain't gonna work out. That ain't gonna work out too well. Because if all the school have is Windows XP, that's not a good look. So definitely you're gonna have to do it on paper. But what they're saying is that they're going to have these credentials, right? So watch this. Each student is going to have their first name, last name, user ID, and a password. Who's that? Ramchan added. If is July, they didn't confirm July, but they did confirm that the paper one is definitely a go. It's definitely gonna be paper one on SBA as so far. Based on what the guy said, yeah, it's clearly that. But I'll play that part for you at the end for you to hear it, right? Okay, so let me go again, right? So everybody gonna get user ID and password and they're gonna log in. After they get user ID and password, you're going to reach this screen. Let me show you the screen. Right, so you're going to log in, right? So it's gonna be a login page like this. You log in like that, you put your username and you put in your password, and then you click log in, and then once you do that, you're going to get into the exam. Now, this is for schools that are going to do the e-testing. But if you're not going to do the e-testing, as I said at the start, don't worry. It's clearly going to be on paper. There's no question about that, right? If you can't do it. And I for one, sure that plenty of schools in Trinidad and plenty of schools across the Caribbean will just say, no, we can't do it on e-testing because we have too much things to worry about, right? So, there you go again. Right, so once you log in, apologizing for the quality, but there's a Facebook Live. So, if they say anything about visual arts, no, they didn't say anything about visual arts because all they were trying to do was talk about e-testing in this, and they was deflecting all the other questions with respect to the timetable and all them kind of things, but I'll play that part for you at the end. So, you'll get a question, you answer the question, and then you click next. When you click next, you'll see at the bottom, you'll see that it's going to get blue at the bottom here. So all the questions have little boxes at the bottom there. And each one of the boxes is a question. And once you log in there, you press the blue, whatever question you're on the blue one. Now, what they say about the timetables, Blaine, they say that the timetable going to be brought out next week. But I'll play that part at the end for you because I don't want you to trust what I say. I want you to trust what they say. Because one of the big problems that we have is that we trust what other people say, and I given you exactly what they said in the webinar, so nobody could say that I said it. I'll show you that they said it, right? Yeah, it's a Ramdat. Yeah, they did say it at the end, right? Okay, So they went through the whole e-testing process, but that's not really the most important thing for me right now. Most important thing is after you fill out the information and all that kind of thing, you see this thing on top here? Just let me see if I can show you. If I could just go back a little bit. Come on. Right. When you're in a question, you'll see at the top left hand side here, you'll see connected or not connected. So the big question that students are asking all the time about the CSEC is that will it have to be online, meaning you have a internet connection all the time, or will you be able to do it and it will be stored offline and then they could upload it after? So it is possible that you may be doing your multiple choice, but it's not connected. And if it's not connected, that just means that you could still do the you could still do the what is called this thing? You could still do the question, but it will have to get uploaded after, when the administrator comes and clicks yes, upload or something like that. So for places that don't have proper Wi-Fi, all the computers need to do is be able to connect. And once the computers connect, then you don't have to worry again, because it's going to run through the course and you'll go through all the questions. And then you'll reach to the point in the questions where you have to click submit. Which is your flag questions, all that stuff, and then you click submit. And then when you click submit, the question will go in. So it's really kind of straightforward. The problem is that you see the stop here where it says saved and connecting. So every time you do a question and the question is saved, it will be saved and it'll either upload to the thing or not. Right, so let me get to the question parts now. So any questions so far? Alright, so let me get to the first question so you all could listen. So listen carefully to this. If you're not hearing the video audio properly, just let me know, right? I wouldn't talk over it, I'll just let it play.
Okay, so it is being phased in until it becomes. Find out when is it that.
I selected unmute for the person.
She's still muted.
And you realize all kind of people have problems using Zoom, right? Because even teachers.
Sorry, I didn't realize that my microphone was muted. Am I being heard now?
Yes, you are.
Good afternoon, everyone. Now, I want to find out when is it that e-testing will commence in the region.
E-testing actually started in 2017 in the January session with paper ones only. We have been testing since that, and we have now expanded to some paper twos and paper 3.2s. So it has been ongoing regionally.
Okay, so it is being phased in until it becomes.
All right, so answer to question 2 that children is be asking all the time. Is e-testing even possible? Do they even do it or that kind of thing? Yes, it is, because they have done it already since 2017. So if you're worrying about if e-testing is even viable or possible, well, it is, because they've been doing it since 2017. So let me get the next question.
I have some concerns though. I'm in Jamaica and I have some concerns readiness. I think that schools will have to have some alternative power supply, because the Jamaica Public Service is known for frequent power cuts, and sometimes there is no prior notification. So I see where some alternative power supply, whether through generators or something, I see where that will be necessary. If it is, well, not if, when this comes on board fully, I see where that is going to be a challenge. And we also have some instability too as it relates to the internet service providers. So I'm just concerned how these nuances will affect the exams and our candidates here. I'm not sure if across the region there are similar concerns.
So, Ms. Cumberbatch.
All right. So you heard the question that she asked, right? She asked the question basically saying she asked the question basically saying, hey, what if current goes? Because that's a question that most IT teachers like myself have with respect to, like, you know, if current goes. So the question is, if current goes, what's going to happen? And then they was talking about what if internet goes, what will happen? So let's see what the answer was, right? Because they gave an answer that was kind of...
The as you would have noticed in the presentation that Paula would have made, she indicated that as we are phasing in, it is not that CXC dictates what happens in the territory, but the ministries are the ones that are advising CXC that they're ready. So your ministry would have been doing their readiness checks and so on, and then they will determine, well, these centers are ready and so on. So we are working to ensure that the transition is basically seamless. We do recognize that there are some areas where the internet is more stable and so on. You do have the fully online mode, the partially online mode, which we are promoting. And we work with the ministries to ensure that as we move forward, that they are ready.
Diane, may I also add?
Of course.
In addition to what Diane has said, we have also had extensive conversations with ministries, and they have been utilizing laptops which would have backup batteries. So during the time of the exam, if there's a power outage, the candidate still has the opportunity to complete the examination.
All right, good. So pause on that. So the question is, I want all the feedback on this, right? The question is, when they're using the laptop, right? So let's say, you doing the exam, thing, whatever, go on. Boom, current gone. Your whole screen just gonna go black, right? If you're using a desktop. And if you, so you think the timetable is real or a draft, it will be an X draft. I feel it will be an X draft. It's highly unlikely that it will be real because the amount of COVID cases I have going on right now, it's nothing. Yeah, it ain't really gonna make any sense. Yeah, all the people that could win sending there, I tell him I say thanks. He's a good fella from a good place. Yeah. So yeah. Right, so all of you who joined in here cause Cohen sent all the right. So what I did so far is I went through the first question. The first question was that all the people that Cohen sent all remember like the video and like the video and subscribe to the page, right? Thanks. Yeah, I'll appreciate that. Oh gosh, look how you think getting flood. Alright, so what I was saying is they asked the question, right? So let me go over the question again. Listen carefully to the question that they asked, right, with the e-testing. So let's say, first of all, we established that if your school can handle the laptop for the e-testing, they will do it on paper. I'm gonna say that again. If your school can handle the laptop e-testing, which is what they want people to try to do, they will give you it on paper. We established that already. If you didn't see that, then you can just go back and check the video, right? Check the first half of the video because I play the exact clip. Remember, when you're getting information, always remember you gotta get information from the source. All the people that Kerwin sent I appreciate it a lot. He is like my low-key hero. So just remember that anything that Kerwin have, all the support, especially the song Bundong. Because that Bundong thing. Yeah. All the people who like Bundong, I see you there. Right? So all remember, like the video and like the video. If it's in July for sure, it's not, I don't know if it's in July for sure because they say they're going to bring out a timetable next week, but I'll play the official clip for you just now. All the people are asking for our official date, I'll play the official clip for you just now. But here the question that somebody asked that made a whole lot of sense.
Would have made, she indicated that as we are phasing in, it is not that CXC dictates.
A notification.
I'll go and play the question for you, right? Listen to this question.
Okay, so it is being phased in until it becomes the mode of testing.
Yes.
I have some concerns though. I'm in Jamaica and I have some concerns readiness. I think that schools will have to have some alternative power supply because the Jamaica Public Service is known for frequent power cuts, and sometimes there is no prior notification. So I see where some alternative power supply, whether through generators or something, I see where that will be necessary. If it is, well, not if, when this comes on board fully, I see where that is going to be a challenge.
Alright, so they asked about the power cuts, right? So basically, if you're doing your exam, you're in a lab, in some place or in some room or whatever, and you're on the laptop and current gone, what are you gonna do? Let me say you're on number 59 out of 60, and all you have to do is put in your next answer and then click submit. When you click submit, what's gonna happen? Well, if you can't click submit, what's gonna happen? Are you going to lose your whole exam if current go? Because you know current could go. Some all your schools have current going more than it there sometimes. And what's gonna happen if the internet go? What's gonna happen if it have a power surge? Because usually if that happen, they'll have to do some sort of thing up a USB or some kind of thing like that. And yeah, somebody say exactly Jamaica Power Service not dependable. I could tell you TNTech not exactly fully dependable too. It has some places in Trinidad where schools just have current going normal. Like you would just be in school, the lights will come off, and then you just continue doing your work, and then the lights will come back on. Then you'll see a van coming and fixing some transformer, and all kind of things happen. So if current go, here's this man's solution, right? So listen carefully to the solution.
And we also have some instability too, as it.
But the ministries are the ones that are advising CXC that they're ready. So your ministry would have been doing their readiness checks and so on, and then they will determine, right, well, these centers are ready and so on. So we are working to ensure that the transition.
So basically she's saying that the Ministry of Education is responsible for deciding if they go into yeah, do that, right? But listen to what he's saying now, right? Listen.
As we move forward, that they are ready.
Diane, may I also add?
Of course.
In addition to what Diane has said, we have also had extensive conversations with ministries, and they have been utilizing laptops which would have backup batteries. So during the time of the exam, if there's a power outage, the candidate still has the opportunity to complete the examination.
You listen to that man reasoning? The man say they'll be using laptops which will have batteries, which will have backup batteries. Now, all I'm saying is, I don't know about all you, but the ministry laptops that we always get from wherever we get it from, if it have a backup battery, the battery just die real fast, or the batteries just give problems, or sometimes when you unplug them, it just shut off because it working on the power, and batteries just give problem all the time. So relying on battery power, that kind of shaky. And worse yet, if you're giving these students to do the exams not on a laptop, but they're doing it in a computer lab, and they have to sit down in the computer lab and do the exam, because not all the schools going to have all the laptops that they need, because some schools have like 150, 160 people doing the exam. So the battery power, that don't make any sense. The only way you can ensure that power going to stay continuous is what is called this thing? Is a UPS and a UPS system for all them computers to stay up and making sense. I mean, I real plenty money. Somebody says if the Wi-Fi goes down, right? If at the start of this video, when I started this video, I showed that the e-test could be done either online or offline. So whether or not you're doing the test, once the test get downloaded to the computer, it will be online and it will keep syncing. But if the internet drops, the test will be stored on your computer securely, and then the invigilator after could go and click upload once they get a connection back to the internet. So for the people who are worrying about the internet is not going to be that much of a problem. Basically, the internet is just needed for you to connect to the server to get the actual test. So like how it will work is that you on the laptop will pull the test from the server and it'll be on the computer. And then you run. As soon as you click next, whatever, it will sync automatically, and then your marks will be going straight to CXC. Right? So not all of us in the region have those kinds of computers. Yeah, that's true. Internet will go down. So we're going to do it in a center. Yes, you're doing it in your center. You cannot do it home. They answer that question in this too. I'll play it for you at the end. Guyana schools don't have much systems for all the students. Yes, that is true. Real plenty schools don't have the thing. Bishops honestly have good resources. We don't need to worry about that. Well, I hope you have a good UPS that have everybody connected, because you could have the best resources in the school. Once T&Tech decide that they're going to stop sending your power, that's it. You have nothing to fall back on. And you had to believe that your laptop battery could not last. But imagine this scenario. You trust in this battery, right? And you sit down on your laptop and you reach number 56 out of 60 in your multiple choice. And then you see the battery meter come up and saying 10% left. You have 2 minutes left before the computer shut down. What you going to do? Raise your hand and be like, tell the invigilator, come, my battery going on dead, my battery going on dead. I'm going on, I need to finish my multiple choice or something like that. Because if your battery going on die, the only thing that could happen after that is that you submit the exam, or you get a next device, and then you get a next device, then you have to log on and finish the exam. Eh? Now, if the internet down, worse yet, that means your information was never syncing. And if your information was never syncing, that means when you log back onto the new computer, you will see that the last time it synced was when you was on question 5. So think carefully about that now. Ask yourself really quickly. Some people be using their own computer device so that more resources will be available to those who don't have any. As far as they say no, they say the ministry is going to have to decide to give the resources to the schools. Timetable official or draft. They're gonna release the next timetable next week. I don't know if it's gonna be draft or it's gonna be official. I heard one teacher said that exams will be in September, October. Is there any truth to this? Or what is the best option in this time? They haven't said, and they don't want to say, because obviously they can't say because of COVID-19. You can't just say that just so. Nobody will know. So I'm not sure if you or they say this, but when are the IA due dates? They have changed the IA due dates, and the IA due dates that they change it to, that go down have to be sent to the ministries, and then the ministries will tell the schools. So most likely a teacher will tell you that whenever that time comes. If the government doesn't get enough computers, we'll be able to use our personal computer. They basically said, yeah. They didn't say yes or they didn't say no, because they basically gave the specs at the start, and the specs that they gave for the computers it wide ranging, so maybe not. Right, so let me go back to our next question. There's another person who asked a good question. Let me see if I can get it for you. Alright, listen to this one.
In the majority of the examinations, how will these paper ones be structured as compared to the ones of the past? Will it be similar questioning types, or will the format be revised to more suit this online medium?
The examinations are being offered e-test, and as you would have heard the registrar say, where that is not possible, they're also being offered paper-based. And the examinations are going to be formatted the same way as prescribed by the syllabus.
All right. Alright, so for those of you who are asking the question, are the multiple choices going to change up? Are they going to change the way that they do the multiple choice because of e-testing? They just said no. They can't do it. Well, they're not going to do it because it's going to be the same way that the syllabus says that the multiple choice is going to be. So they're going to have the questions and they choose the answers, because remember, there's some people that will be able to do it on a computer, some people will be able to do it on paper. But the thing is, they want to implement videos and all kind of thing in the multiple choice, but you can't put video in a paper. So therefore the multiple choice could not stay the same way with some of the crappy pictures that you just see on it that look in black and white, and you trying to figure out what the picture actually saying, so you don't want to choose. Yeah, that's gonna still be the same way, because even though it's e-testing and it'll be on paper, you gotta make sure that the people on paper are not disadvantaged, because you keep putting one set of pictures for them to choose A, B, and C, but then they on the computer screen they're seeing it clearer. All right, let me see what else. If the government doesn't have enough computers, we'll be able to use a person to answer that. If this is the future, then all schools would have a backup generator. I believe that's exactly what's gonna have to happen. If you're good, at least a generator that could come on during exam time. It might be on during the whole year, but at least when those computers connected, they're gonna have to be on a backup generator. So if the timetable is coming out next week, they wouldn't. Why they wouldn't say when? I'll play it at the end for you to hear, because I want you all to hear it from the source. I don't want you to hear it from me to say I say. This is the exact webinar that they just had 1 hour ago. Can we accept that the exam will now be paper 1 and SBAs as final? I candy check. I think it's really close to that right now. Really close. Based on how they was talking there, it was kind of straightforward. So wouldn't the paper ones discredit the exams? Injustice fellow, wait until the end. I have a clip to play at the end that he say exactly answer that question, and you will see how great that thing sounded. So would they refund some of our money? Well, that's a big question I have here, because if we pay CXC for students, the government does pay, and the government does pay for a paper 1 and a paper 2, and they take away the paper 2, that means they should get back a refund for the paper 2 money. But that's a long story. If the exams fall in January, we'll be doing normal paper 1 and paper 2. They didn't answer that question. I only going through what they answered. The speculation and thing, I'm really not trying to be too speculative, because that has turned into rumors, and rumors has caused problems. Since they confirm that we're not getting paper 2s, so far they only talk about multiple choice here. Matthias, so basically multiple choice is going to be the same as it always was. That's what they just said. That is what the lady just said. Will the paper 1 be modified since there's no paper 2? Based on what they just said, no. What about the practical for PE, etc.? They didn't talk about that, because this thing was just talking about e-testing. They weren't trying to answer any questions about exams, because I realized they're ducking the questions, because genuinely, it's kind of uncertain. They really can't say anything because COVID-19 control and all that. Aren't schools closed until September in Trinidad? Philip Mitchell, no. Schools may be closed until September in Trinidad, but they didn't say that it will be. They say it may not be possible to open schools before September, but trust me, if it is possible, they will do it. So that was never stated clearly, and Cabinet didn't say anything about that. Since it's SBA and paper 1, how many marks will the SBA go for? They answered that at the end of the video, so listen to that. Alright, so I'll go and play. Well, it's only asking questions, so I just kind of going through. Alright, let me get to the next question. Alright, listen to this question now.
This online medium.
The examinations are being offered e-test, and as you would have heard the registrar say, where that is not possible, they're also being offered paper-based. And the examinations are going to be formatted the same way as...
Alright, so somebody going to ask about if we could do it home, right? So listen.
The examinations will be written in centers as would have been done in the past, or will it be based out of the applicant's homes?
At the moment, there is no facility for the candidates to take the examinations at home. So we're expecting that the local registrars will determine the test centers as is usual.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Right, so all they heard are they clearly they ask if people will be able to do the test at home, and the man and the lady was like, no. The local registrar is going to have to figure out how you're going to get all these people to how you're going to figure out to get these people to do the test. That's basically what's happening, right? All right, let me see with the e-test compromise on multiple choice, or just have structured paper 2 questions. Right now, e-test is only multiple choice. Would we be allowed to use our own peripherals, like the mouse, like a mouse we own? Ha! Bleed! You're asking some high-man questions there. So for the multiple choice paper, the questions still repeating, and is it the same 60 questions? I don't know. I highly doubt they're going to repeat all the questions because they're trying to integrate more pictures and more videos inside of it. Schools are not open before September and came on already, so well, hey, we will see. It's not like they can't call out the Form 5 to do the exam. It's not like they can't do that. That is definitely possible. Are they going to change the questions, or will it be repeated questions? That is up to CXC. I don't know. They didn't answer that. I'm concerned about the integrity of the exams in terms of tabulating grades, also the integrity of grades in terms of job applications. Yeah, that's a big problem too. Say if everyone is clustered in a center, won't it be clustered just like in school? A center doesn't have to be a school, so a center could be like a big community center, or it have places that kind of huge where they could put people and they would be able to do it in different places like that. Like some places in universities have some huge halls that could hold like about 500, maybe 1,000 people depending. So they could choose anywhere they want, or they could choose your school hall if it's big enough, and it will hold all the people. That's possible. So if everyone is alright, so they should let some of the examinees go in the morning and some in the afternoon. Nah, let me tell you why they can't stagger exams in the morning and the afternoon. Because the people in the morning will meet the people in the afternoon, tell them the answers, and the people in the afternoon will have a better chance. That's why you can't let half go on one, unless you're doing 2 totally different multiple choice, which will cause a bigger problem. So they can't stagger the times. If the exam being done on a date, everybody had to do it at that exact point in time, because that's just how the thing does work. All right, so let me have our next question that somebody asked. I'll play for you. CXC didn't answer anything. Well, they did answer some things. That's why I'm doing this, because there's some things that they did say. Alright, let me listen to this man question here. He's gonna start to talk. I think he asked a good question too. This was a guy.
Mr. Thomas, just ask your question.
Ask a question now.
Hi, are you hearing me? Good afternoon.
Yes, we are.
Okay, I'm calling from Trinidad, and I have a question. For usually after the paper 1 or paper 2, the candidate basically receives a candidate receipt stating that where they to show as a sign as verification where they did complete the exam, whether it be paper 1 or paper 2. If it is possible and where we are able to complete this exam through e-testing, will the candidate receive a verification email stating that they did complete the exam in case anything happens?
All right, so you hear that question, right? The man asks about the receipt. So listen to the answer.
At the moment, there's not a verification email, but the supervisor at the center who monitors the submission will have an indicator on their panel, and CXC will also have an indicator of the submission being completed. Secondly, while the examination is going on, the candidate's responses are continuously sent back onto the server. So should there be a connection failure, encrypted response is on the local machine, so you can't tamper with it, and the partial response goes up to the internet. At the end of the time for the examination, all of that information, if it cannot be sent back to the server, the local supervisor is prompted to save the candidate's work. So unless the machine actually stops working and you can't get to the machine, it's unlikely that the candidate's work would be lost during the examination session.
Okay.
All right, so you hear that answer there. So for those of you all who've written exams already, when you go to the exam and you do the exam on paper, you just fill out your name and the candidate number and all that stuff. And at the end of the exam, the invigilator will sign it and give you it as a slip, as a receipt to say that you wrote the exam. So let me say in August, if they tell you that you didn't show up for your exam, you would be able to say, no, here's my receipt. I actually did the exam and you can't tell me I didn't do the exam. What he said is right now there is no way to give a receipt to a student to prove that they did the exam. And that, my friends, is a big problem. Because if the system fails or if something happens and it doesn't record your marks or some kind of thing, or record your responses or something. And then in August you get your results, and it say that you get like a 4 or 5 or something, and then when you query it, they realize that you didn't do the multiple choice or some kind of thing like that, and you say, no, I was there. Then they will be like, no, we have no record of that on our system. And then you now don't have any physical piece of information, any email, any nothing to say, listen, I was there. All you have is the word of the invigilator who was there, who is responsible for making sure that all the checks and balances are done. And that ain't making sense for e-testing, right? This whole thing was about e-testing, and I was real concerned about all the questions that people had. So thankfully they asked a lot of the questions, and I just want you all to understand that if we are to do e-testing, it has some things that had to get ironed out real bad. Well, I'll summarize any comments or some kind of thing. Let me see the questions that I have. So what month would you say CXC will start? I have no idea. Maybe July, maybe September. That's all up to COVID-19. We can't speculate about that because we don't know. They isolate everyone that has a clash, or if there isn't enough computers, they are isolated with no phones and with an invigilator. So, okay. So your solution is half the people do the exam in the morning, half do it in the afternoon. And the half that have to do it in the afternoon, you lock them up in a room and you take away their phones and you just let them sit down there until the first half finish the exam. They leave, and then the next half go straight in the exam room and they do the question, the test. Boy, I don't know if you've ever been a principal of a school, but containing a house of children in a room, I'm not too sure about that, Z Hodge, but yeah, I don't know, it's possible, but I don't think that would make sense. It's best to just get them out on paper and let everybody do it at the same time I'm done. So from Cayman, we'll be doing paper 1, paper 2, and paper 3. I know for sure you're doing a paper 1, I know for sure you're doing an SBA. For paper 2, I have no idea, but I'm almost positive that they're not going to do the paper 2 because they're real fighting this down, and they're not trying to do this paper 2 at all. So will the exam be multiple choice only? Same question. Somebody hire a hacker to get the answers, please. Well, if it's encrypted on the computer, once something on a server, it is hackable. But I don't know, hire somebody, you go ahead. This wouldn't be me, and don't tell them I sent you. This is come from someone that did e-testing for paper 1s and paper 2s last year. Alright, Z Hodge. Okay. So they did that in your school. How much students in your school? Because let me tell you something about Trinidad. Trinidad students ain't exactly going to sit down in a room and wait until it's time for them to do their exam and not try to find a way to cheat. I'm sure about that. I mean, it's not that we're bad people, but I mean, there are bad people. Paper receipts, because let's say take a picture of the invigilator before the exam start holding up on newspaper. That's to prove that you did the exam. Yo, that's a proof of life kind of thing. That's what you do when they get kidnapped. Alright, Z Hodge, not in the afternoon and in the morning, but both in the afternoon. So after 3 p.m. or so, it's not my suggestion, it's what happened. Right, that was saying how much people you have in your school, Hodge. Because that's not making sense. But like, what's the point of this? Because you still have in contact with people. Well, aside from the COVID-19, all this is hoping that they we have over 115 each year, but that sounds like a Trinidad problem, not a Caribbean problem. Yeah, it might be a Trinidad problem. I ain't saying that if you have 150 people going and do an exam, 75 of them go and do the exam in the morning, and then as they start at 9 and finish at 10:30, and then the next 75 start from 11 and go to 12:30. That is possible by the same managing students in a confined area to keep them from cheating or talking to the people that are currently doing the exams is not exactly simple, because we had problems with phone hunting in exam and sharing information and whatnot. Now I'm bashing Trinidad, but Trinidad have everywhere there's cheating. I just know Trinidad because I Trinidadian, but you know, don't beat up too much. This next one says just cancel CSEC and Cape. No, that's not what you want. That's not what you want. You could say just cancel CSEC and Cape, but they're not gonna make any sense. We had to get the exams. Alright, let me go to our next question. Veronique said they should have a biometric scan or something. Alright, let me listen to our next question now. hear this question that this next person asked. I think it was a pertinent.
Please unmute your microphone.
But people don't know how to unmute the microphone. What does this next person say? We'll wear earpieces. Yeah, some people go on earpieces and hear.
Ravi Nanga.
We're not saying that Trinidad is full of cheaters, but it's possible that this could go south real fast. Real.
Yes, hello?
Yes, hello, good evening.
Good evening. I am not entirely clear. In the event your machine crashes, I understand that the answers will be there on the cloud. But firstly, if you do not have a backup machine, what would be the position? And how long would you be permitted to attempt to secure a backup machine?
If I may continue to answer, one of the requirements for the centers offering examinations would be to have at least one backup machine for every 15 candidates who are at the exam center. Now, if that is not the case, what may obtain, and this is at the discretion of the center supervisor, is that the candidate can, in a worst case scenario, be shifted to a paper examination in order to complete the test.
Okay, but thank you.
We have not had many of those events in our 3.5 year experience.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So, well, you hear that question there. The guy's question was, what if somebody's machine crash and they literally can't finish and you can't get a backup computer? Because obviously, when you're scaling things up, when you're going through things of scale, you're going to have to deal with the fact that if like, let me say 3% of the laptops fail in a test with 100 people, that's 3 laptops. But if it's 100,000 people, that's 300 laptops. So they're basically saying that for every 15 students, you're supposed to have 1 backup laptop each. So you're done struggling to have enough laptops for people, enough working laptops for people. Then now you're going to have a whole set of backup laptops waiting just in case something happens. And then if it is at all not possible for the person to finish to do their test do the test on the laptop because they get a blue screen, it lag, it stick, the battery totally dead, the video card stop working, the fan not working, and overheat, or whatever it is, they go switch it to paper. My question is, if at the end of the e-test you're supposed to be able to check over, you will never be able to check over the questions that you did on the e-test. You will only be able to check over the questions I did on the paper. So basically, the computer crash, your stuff going up to the cloud, cool, they can't get a backup machine for you, they give you a piece of paper to finish your test, so you reach number 45 and you do your last 15 questions on the paper. You have no way of checking over to see if your first 45 questions were correct. And that's a problem, boy. Like, they really had to make sure that these laptops and computers working good, for sure. Right? For people who just join in and asking if the exam is online, if it is official, the exam is online for people that could do it online. If it's not, then you won't do it online, you'll get to do it on paper. Alright, let me see what's going on there. Spoiler alert for these questions, they give 0 useful answers. No, they give answers, just that they may not be the answers that we want, so we have to make sure that they answer the questions that we ask. That we've been asking for a while, because students asking real questions and these things answering some of the questions. Well, why don't we just buy laptops? Injustice fellow, I don't know if you know, but all the Caribbean countries broke right now. So the Ministry of Education ain't gonna have enough money to buy laptops just so. And why don't we just buy laptops? You gonna ask every student to buy a laptop so that they could do their exam for CXC? That not making sense. Have no window next to my front door. Alright, they give you paper receipts like what you usually get for your written papers. Alright, Z Hodge. If they give you paper receipts, how come the man just say that they don't have any paper receipts? So he don't know what he's talking about. Because if they did e-testing it in your school, right? What school is that? Z Hodge? What school it is and what country? Let me know so I could kind of just check it up. Because he just said that they don't give you paper receipts, and now you're saying that they do give you paper receipts, so I want to know. I think a lot of students will use this as an excuse if they are not satisfied with their result. Something so. Injustice fellow, I know you probably don't know me. We could take a loan from China. All right, yeah. You want kicks right now? I'm gonna study you. What if someone who has exam is in isolation, then you'll get marked as sick or absent. Yeah, you get once you have sick leave, you will tell them that you can't come. What about the exams that you can do working on like maths? Well, that'll be a paper 2. For paper 1, I don't know, they'll probably get a piece of scrap paper or something. So what's the percentage distribution of marks between paper 1, SPA, and paper 3? Alright, so I'll go down and get an answer for you one time because plenty of people are asking that. So listen to the next question. It's not printed from the computer, but I literally still have all my paper receipts that I filled out for my e-test. Anguilla. Alright, Z Hodge. So they made you fill out the paper, but I just going with what this guy here said. He said no. Alright, let's get the next question here. Our next question I'm gonna ask.
Go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you very much. My questions were broadly answered.
That's great.
I really wanted to get the context in terms of this initiative, and from the perspective of the current pandemic. But I think I'm hearing now that it's going to be centered based, meaning students will have to go to centers to answer or sit the exam. And 2, I guess it would have been good, maybe time didn't allow, but the history of the whole e-learning, I'm understanding that this was being rolled out since 2017. So for the last 3 years. So maybe some territories are more familiar with it than others. I'm not sure if we've had that experience here in Barbados. I'm actually speaking from Barbados.
Yes, you have, sir.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. So then is it, you spoke about demos and the CXC website, accessing demos and e-testing, dry runs. Is that available? Do I just go on to the website? Because you also mentioned the school limiting or permitting access. It wasn't clear there. Is it something that we wait for the schools to instruct us on, or do we go as households, as parents, and browse and view the website?
All right, he questioned irrelevant. He just talking about the website, or they went on the website already. Let me get to the final question that everybody wants to hear about.
Evening.
All right.
Remember that you can continue to submit your queries, and we will.
This is the important question here. Listen to this one.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I'm a teacher in Antigua. I teach English A and B. I would like to know what is the weighting being given to the exams, since it will just be paper 1 and the SBA that the students will be doing.
Right, so they want to know the weighting of the exams between paper 1 and the SBA, right?
And I'm going to refer your question to one of our panelists.
So she deflected one time.
Sorry, could you repeat?
I am querying the weighting being given to papers 1 and the SBA for English A and B.
Okay, so I think in our opening, thank you for the question. And I think in our opening, we had outlined the fact that the assessments will be as we would have had it in our syllabuses for all subjects. So as you would have had it there, that's exactly how it will be done.
All right. So first of all, so the lady asked, what is the weighting of the information of the papers, right? The papers will be a paper 1 and a paper 3. That's the clearest indicator there out of the whole thing that says that they're not going to do the paper 2 again, right? Just for all of you all who wanted to know, they clearly ask what is the new weighting going to be based on the paper 1 and the paper and the SBA. And she, I can't remember the lady's name. I'll probably get the information and put it in the video description if I have time. But she said that they just go and follow the syllabus. But remember, the syllabus have the breakdown of 20% for your SBA, 45 or 55% for your paper 2, and then 35% or some kind of thing. So I know if my maths add up to 100, doesn't matter. But the syllabus has a breakdown for 3 papers. And her answer was that you would just go and follow the syllabus. But if they follow the syllabus, that means they'll be only be checking you for like, I don't know, out of 50% or something. So because the whole paper 2 gone. So then the guy had to jump in. And this is what he said when he jumped in. Listen to this. Captain Deflector.
Could you clarify, please?
So in the syllabus. Okay.
Okay. Yes. So
in comes in Captain Deflector.
The normal process for the or let me put it this way. Our interest is awarding valid grades to students that would be reflective of the competencies that students ought to demonstrate, having gone through a syllabus of the nature CXC would have prescribed, whichever of those syllabus or discipline. Therefore, in completing the requisite assessment this year, we will be applying the appropriate weighting that will preserve that integrity, where we are able to make assessment. Because even with the reduced assessment, the multiple choice and the SBAs, it is critical that we still be in a position to assess the critical competencies students ought to demonstrate. And so the respective weighting from subject to subject will be applied that is most appropriate for the awarding of valid grades. In the preparation for the examination, students still ought to follow the structure of what the syllabus says persons ought to know and demonstrate. So we will not necessarily come out now and say to people, multiple choice is 50% or 80% or 20%, because that would then create too much confusion in the system. And I think what we want to ensure is that the approach we are taking will use the appropriate weighting that will ensure that valid grades are awarded and that the integrity of the examination process is preserved as we do assessment across years. Because one of the things we have to guard against.
All right, so basically he repeated himself over and over and over and over and over. He did not want to say what the weighting of a paper 1 and an SBA is going to be, because the argument is, because I think I'll call him Captain Deflector. Captain Deflector was like ching 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 ching, because what really going to happen is that the weighting of a multiple choice is going to become so important, because basically your SBA used to be 20% or 30% depending on the type of exam you're doing, and the multiple choice used to be 35% depending on the exam that you're doing. You had to have some way that you're going to make up the 25% on the multiple choice on the SBA side and the other 15% on the paper 1 side. So in order for that to make sense, the multiple choice could have to reach at least 50, because it is a grave mistake to make the SBA be 60%, because remember the SBA is marked by us teachers in our school, and some teachers has marked SBA hard and some teachers has marked SBA easy. Some teachers has dragged children through the whole SBA to make sure that they do it correctly and give them all the answers, and then some teachers just leave here to fight up. And if the weighting of your SBA get too high, then it's going to rely too much on a subjective teacher who decided to mark you hard that day, that year, or decided to give you a whole set of easy, a real easy SBA and basically do everything for you and just kind of switch it around. Because trust me, I have teachers that will do that because they want their marks to look good. And then if you push the multiple choice up too much now, if you get a multiple choice to reach anywhere close to 60, that means every single question on your multiple choice is going to be 1%. So if you get a question wrong in a multiple choice, it'll be 1% that you're losing. So you're starting at 100, and it will be 90. Well, let me say you do a real good SB and you get perfect marks. Let me say they weight the SB at 40, and then they weight the multiple choice up to 60. Then it could be 1, 2, 3, 4. So you get 10 wrong, you get 20 wrong in the multiple choice, then that's dropping you to 80%. If you get half in your multiple choice, you're going through. And that's why he didn't want to answer that question, because somebody say he gets 0 marks for that answer. So basically gonna keep the validity of the exam by keeping the validity of the exam. How is that an answer? Man didn't want to answer that question at all, boy. 0 out of 5 for content. Give that man 0 for content. He only said that it will vary from subject to subject, which may be true. It will vary from subject to subject, of course, because like I'm an IT teacher, and for all those of you all doing IT, subscribe to this channel, because as do IT multiple choice, IT papers, live every Sunday night and whatnot. And for those of you who haven't liked the video yet, go and like the video, thanks, so that it will get all the propagation. But what I was saying is, and follow it, subscribe, right? Click subscribe, thanks, I'll appreciate it. What I was gonna say? I forget. Right, yeah, so I'm an IT teacher, so my SBA is 25%, Maths SBA is 20%, some SBAs are still 30%. So how you gonna change how you gonna change your weighting is a very, very, very tricky thing. And you notice my boy didn't want to answer it at all. All he was saying is that they have to maintain the integrity of the exam. They have to maintain the integrity of the exam. My personal view is that multiple choice can't go anything more than 60. Because if the multiple choice go anything more than 60, then that means every question that you get wrong in the multiple choice is going to be worth 1 point something %. And that means somebody who does really bad in the multiple choice would get, like somebody who just make a mistake shading the wrong thing or selecting the wrong thing in the multiple choice, their mark could be severely mashed up because of the way that it is. So if that multiple choice reach up to 60, that's the highest it could reach. That means the SBA gonna be 40. If I was them, that's what I would have done, because you can't get that SBA too much weighting. Because if you get the SBA too much weighting, then that'll be a real subjective disadvantage that some people will go through. Caribbean insufficiency exam is the new thing for them. They should just hand us the grade 1s and done. Now they can't give everybody a grade 1. That will make it even worse. If everybody get a grade 1, then nobody gets a grade 1. Yes sir, I'm already getting a 2 in chem for the most because of the labs. Yeah, for men who do bad in the labs and thing already, then yeah, you ain't really working out too well. Literally nobody should face CXC this year. You view so? Injustice fellow entrepreneurship is 60%. Ooh. Entrepreneurship. Oh yeah, entrepreneurship IA is really 60%. So basically the next 40 will be a multiple choice if that happens. And then some people say in agri-science is 40% of your SBA. So they're gonna have to look at each subject and make sure that the weighting is going to preserve the integrity. Because honestly, he couldn't answer the question. And if he was gonna answer that question, that would not work out too well for him, because he'd have say something there and that would have caused a real problem in his life. So I understand why he didn't answer, but I understand. Don't get back to the man. He really tried his best. Alright, so like the video, give it a thumbs up. Those of you who doing IT and want to follow all the IT and tech stuff that I'll be doing on this channel, check subscribe now and share. You could share this video around with people, because boy, if you're not concerned by now, you should be, because it's gonna be a problem. Cash with the messenger, right? Yeah. So remember this, I did not tell you this. I played the actual clip. I played the actual thing from Facebook that they had on the live, and it was played for everybody. It's public knowledge. I'm going to paste a link in this video. If you want, you could listen to the whole thing, because I just listened to the whole thing for you, because I know as a student you wasn't going to spend how long? An hour and 7 minutes listening to that. That ain't really gonna make too much sense in your life, because all you will get bored. So I listened to the whole boring thing, found the parts that are important, and was telling you. So all you who wanted to answer all the questions about e-testing and how it's going to work, this is it here. This is e-testing. They wasn't talking about CXC any timetable and all them kind of things, because all them things, the timetable part coming out next week. Let me play that part for you. I didn't play that yet. Alright, listen to this.
20 and say, okay, that was a different kind of arrangement. So we have to maintain certain standards that will allow for the grades to be valid, because we are focusing on the competencies that student ought to demonstrate. So you won't find us right now making any public statement on the weighting, because all of that is pretty much dependent on the various subjects. If you look in every syllabus, there's a different kind of weighting. And for us to begin to speak to a weighting now, it will even bring more confusion to the system. And so our approach is make sure that we stick to what is in the syllabus. We are a criterion reference-based examination. We test against what is
blah, 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 blah. Yeah, ting, right now.
That even with a modified examination process, we are ensuring that the requisite skills that are critical to these subjects are actually assessed and maintained.
Somebody find out if that guy is a politician from there, because he spoke. Dr. Wesley is his name. Find out from Dr. Wesley, boy. Way, the man politically correct, boy. Politically correct. Alright, so listen to the last part about the timetable. Alright, listen.
Will be available next week, to be posted on the website next week. Table will be out next week. It's very important, even as we try our best to focus at this time during COVID. I also wanted to add, Diane, the fact that the webinar will be available online, and more important, and also importantly, the timetable will be out next week. So I know questions have been popping up, many questions in relation to when will the timetable be available. It will be available next week, to be posted on the website next week.
All right, so final thing, those of you all who want to know about the timetable, they said that the timetable will be posted next week, so you just look out for that. Other than that, I don't know what the timetable will be. I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know when it's going to be, because that's all up to COVID-19. COVID-19 is the one that running the show right now, so whatever COVID-19 say to do, that is what we're going to have to do. So, MCQ and SBA, right, for question for everyone in the chat, is anyone thinking of taking exams next year instead? Well, if you sign up for exams this year, you sign up. Who's the person speaking? Dr. Wesley is the name of the guy. I thought the timetable was out already. I got a link to a past paper. Now the timetable was a draft timetable. The Hodge, are you a private candidate? Alright, Colonel, no private. Alright, so yeah, so that's it there, folks. Thank you very much for your time. Check me on I was normally going on Instagram live every Tuesday night and Thursday night. So yeah, this person here is Z Hodge. Message me on Instagram one time. Z Hodge, message me at makeITsimpleTT on Instagram. So I could put you in on the live, because you have experienced e-testing already, and I think that's something that students should know. The link for Instagram. Instagram is http://instagram.com/makeITsimpleTT. Right, yeah, that link for Instagram there. So all you go and follow that. Who's that person asking on his exams? Watch over the video, we don't know. Right, so Z Hodge, check me on Instagram so we can talk about that later tonight at 8:30, right? 8:30 live on IG again. Thank you very much for your time, folks. Remember, if you want this, it will be posted in the video description. I'll put a link to the actual Facebook Live for you all to go and listen to it if you want to, so you get the information from the horse's mouth, right? Bye-bye. Remember, like and subscribe and all that.